You were sitting on the bed watching your husband getting ready for work as his moves were so fine while he was wearing his tie. Sometimes you wonder why he's always so serious about everything. Even when he's getting ready, he's making sure everything is perfect. Carry his cold look everywhere, and that made you relief because he's like this to everyone and not just you. In fact, he gets softer when he talks to you, making sure he's not hurting you with anything. He's not unkind, he's just reserved. His emotions are often hidden behind that mask of cold look. You have gotten used to it now. His cold nature doesn't bother you, but sometimes you wish to be more open up with him, more comfortable and silly, but you are scared and shy. Jungkook turned towards you and you quickly looked away, not wanting him to think that you were staring at him all this time, although he already saw you through the mirror. I might be back home a little late tonight, so don't wait for me and go to bed on time. You nodded, trying to hide the disappointment. Alright, be safe. Your eyes met and he looked at you more than usual before breaking the eye contact and nodded. I will, and if you need anything, bodyguards are outside. Just don't go out for some days. It's a request. You nodded and looked down because just a few days ago you almost lost your life as you went out without telling anyone, and since your father has the same enemies as Jungkook, they targeted you. I'm sorry for that day. It's okay, but don't do that again. You nodded. He grabbed his jacket and walked towards the door. He paused just before leaving while his hand rested on the doorknob. Make sure you eat breakfast. I noticed you skipped it yesterday. It was a small comment, but it warmed your heart. It was his way of showing he cared, even if he didn't always say it out loud. I will, he promised. Jungkook nodded, satisfied with your response, and then he was gone. The door closed behind him with a soft click. You were left alone in the quiet of the room. The emptiness of the house settled around you like a familiar blanket. You released a heavy breath and lay down on the couch before looking at the ceiling, and a smile appeared on your face as you replay his words in your mind. You like the way he shows his care. You're always interested in men who are less cheesy and more mature and manly. He is exactly that type of man, but now you are shy in front of him. This is just the beginning. I can already see our future full of love and care. I just wish I could be a little more open up. I have to bring out the soft man inside him. He sighed and stood up suddenly before rushing towards the window. From here, you could see the driveway where Jungkook's car was waiting. You watched as he got into the car, his expression unreadable as always, and drove away, disappearing down the street. It was the moments like this made you feel the weight of your marriage. Jungkook wasn't mean or unkind, but there was always a distance between you, a gap you didn't know how to bridge. You knew he cares in his own way, but you wanted more, for him to open up and let you in. As the car disappeared from view, you turned away from the window and looked at the small teddy bear on your bed. A soft smile touched your lips. Maybe today would be the day you finally tell him how you feel. You picked up the teddy bear, holding it close as you sat down on the edge of the bed. Jungkook, I really like you. You whispered, but your voice faltered. You sighed, feeling the familiar shyness creeping in. How could you possibly tell him how you felt when he was so closed off, so distant? You sighed and stared at your teddy bear for some time. It comes to the point where I have to practice with a teddy bear. Sometimes it feels like I'm married to this teddy bear. And who knows, maybe after hearing so many of my confessions, it started to fall in love with me. You laughed on your own, saying that, and hugged the teddy bear. Don't take it the wrong way, teddy bear. You're just as dear to me. Then after spending a little more time on bed, you decided to do your morning routine and have your breakfast, as Jungkook might not show it, but he notices everything. You were surprised that he knew you didn't eat breakfast yesterday. As you came downstairs and sat at the dining table, the maids served you breakfast. You looked at them as the question how Jungkook, knowing that you didn't eat breakfast yesterday, was not leaving your mind. Did you guys tell Jungkook that I didn't eat breakfast yesterday? They all exchanged glances at each other before lowering their faces. Mrs. Han, you said, looking at the head maid while she bowed, Master always asks us about you right after coming back home. That's why we have to tell them everything. Your heart skipped a beat and you felt butterflies in your stomach as you felt so cherished and loved. What does he ask about me? You got curious. He just asked whether you ate properly or were you okay, all those things. He just got worried, and after that incident, he's more careful. Your cheeks turned pink as you nodded, feeling so much better suddenly. So everyone knows about his feelings for me except me. Wait till I come out of my shyness, Jungkook, then I'll show you. You murmur to yourself and smile before eating. The clock struck midnight and the house was quiet, almost too quiet, but you didn't mind tonight. You were married to Jungkook, one of the most dangerous mafia bosses in the world. And silence usually made you nervous, but tonight it felt comforting as he sat on the edge of your bed, holding your teddy bear close to your chest. You glanced at the door, Jungkook didn't come yet, and you had some time alone. The tension in your shoulders eased a little, but your heart still raced. You took a deep breath and then another, trying to calm down. You weren't used to this, practicing how to tell your husband, a man who was still somewhat of a stranger to you, how you really felt about him. But now you're planning to tell him, and for that, you have to select your words. You want to confess everything to him. Okay, you can do this, you whisper to yourself, squeezing the teddy bear. Jungkook, I really like you. You groaned and dropped the teddy bear onto your lap. No, that sounds stupid. You picked the bear up again, staring into his beady eyes as if it could give you advice. Jungkook, I've grown to care for you. You sighed, shaking your head. No, that doesn't sound right either. You rested your forehead against the bear's head, feeling frustrated. You hadn't planned on falling for Jungkook. Your marriage was arranged, a business deal between your family and his to strengthen alliances. You had gone into it with no expectations, just wanting to survive in a world you didn't fully understand. But Jungkook had surprised you. Despite his cold and distant exterior, there were moments when he showed you a softer side, moments when he was kind and caring. Slowly, without you realizing it, you had started to fall for him. Now you wanted more than just a business agreement. You wanted him. You sat up straight, determined to try again. Jungkook, I think I'm falling for you. Your voice trailed off as the door cracked open and you almost jumped out of your skin. Your eyes widened when you saw Jungkook standing in the doorway, leaning against the doorframe with his arms crossed, a slight smirk on his face. Falling for me, huh? He teased, though his eyes were soft, with a hint of amusement. You froze as your heart pounding wildly in your chest. How long had he been standing there? How much had he heard? Embarrassment rushed through you, making your face heat up. I didn't hear you come in. You stammered, clutching the teddy bear tighter to your chest, hoping it could shield you from the embarrassment of being caught. Jungkook pushed off the door frame and walked towards you. His movements were smooth and confident. I didn't mean to interrupt, he said, though his tone suggested he wasn't exactly sorry for eavesdropping. You swallowed hard, unsure of what to say or do. This wasn't how you had planned to confess your feelings. You had wanted it to be private, just between you and him, but now he had caught you talking to a teddy bear like a teenager with a crush. He stopped in front of you while his eyes briefly glancing at the bear in your hands before meeting your gaze again. Practicing? He asked, his voice gentle, no longer teasing. You nodded, too flustered to speak. Jungkook's presence was always intense, but tonight there was something different in his eyes, something softer, almost vulnerable. He reached out and gently took the teddy bear from your hand, setting it aside on the bed. Then, to your surprise, he took your hand in his touch warm and comforting. You don't have to practice, just tell me, he said quietly while his thumb brushing over your knuckles. Your heart skipped a beat at his words. He wasn't making fun of you or teasing you. He was giving you a chance to be honest, to tell him how you felt without fear of being laughed at or rejected. I didn't expect to fall for you, but I have, Jungkook. I care about you a lot. You finally confessed even though you were nervous. Jungkook's expression softened, and for the first time you saw the man behind the tough mafia boss. The man who had slowly opened up to you. He lifted one hand to your face, gently cupping your cheek as his thumb brushed across your skin. I didn't expect to care for you either, but I do, more than I thought I could. He confessed his feelings as well without thinking twice. You felt tears break at your eyes at his words. The sincerity in his voice made your heart swell with emotion. This was the man you had fallen for, the man who was capable of so much more than the world saw, the one who had captured your heart without even trying. Jungkook leaned in and pressed a soft kiss to your forehead, lingering there for a moment. When he pulled back, he rested his forehead against yours, his breath mingling with yours in the quiet room. You don't have to be shy with me, Ryan. I'm yours completely, and I'll wait as long as it takes for you to believe that. Tears filled in your eyes, but they were happy tears. You hadn't imagined that the cold, distant man you had married could be so warm, so full of love. I think I already believe it, he whispered back while your voice thick with emotion. Jungkook smiled, a real, genuine smile that made your heart flutter. He kissed you then, a gentle, loving kiss that promised a future filled with unspoken feelings and shared moments, a kiss that told you that he felt the same. As you kissed him back, your heart finally at ease, you realized that this was just the beginning of a love that had been growing quietly between you both, a love that had found its way into the most unexpected places, a love that was ready to be confessed.